Hey everyone, it's Martha, and I am here today with Chris Thomas from the Short-Term Rental Academy. And we are super excited for you because, for one, you have been wondering, what is Airbnb and how can I get started? Well, I was in the same place. Almost 2 years ago, I was with a company that I liked, but I was outgrowing and I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. And really, I was living paycheck to paycheck at that point. So I did what any desperate person wants to do when they want to make a change. I went on YouTube. And with YouTube, as you know, you all know, like there's a lot of tutorials, there's a lot of information, but that information can only take you so far and you can only understand so much without asking more intricate questions to your own understanding and your own learning. So I was super fortunate to have Chris here, that is the founder of Short-Term Rental Academy, and he's here today to answer some questions for you at the end. On top of that, he's gonna walk you step by step to ensure your success with this business. So Chris, go ahead and give us some information on what they can expect from you, and who are you? Who is Chris Thomas?
Who is Chris
Thomas? I don't know who he is.
Oh man, that's the question they get asked a lot, is Chris Thomas. Let me tell you, the question you're really asking yourself is, why should you listen to a guy like myself, right?
Yes.
So, why should you listen to me? Let me tell you, I came from my grandma's couch. Roach-infested couch. I came from 2 failed startup companies. I come from the corporate world, had to leave that, kind of like your situation.
Yeah.
I outgrew it. I started my own 2 companies. I'm not a software guy, so those 2 companies failed. I came from $30,000 in debt.
Ugh.
Negative 13 cents in my bank account. I had every card stacked against me. I had no credit, no capital, no money at all. I had negative 13 cents in my bank account. So that's kind of contradictory to the original question I asked you. Why should you listen to me? The reason you should listen to me is I came from exactly that. I started this business with no money, no credit, and no idea about real estate. And I did the same thing that you did. I YouTube binge and I got overload of information. And guess what? YouTube doesn't hold you accountable for the mistakes that you might make in this business and in this training that Martha hit me up about. She was like, my team and everybody wants to know, how do you get started? Can you just do a quick video showing these people how this business works, what this business is about? And guess what? At the end of this video, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to actually take the entire Short-Term Rental Academy. But in the meantime, let me give you a synopsis, a little version of how this business model works. And if you follow me on my computer, I will show you exactly how this business model works. Do you have anything else that you would like to say before I jump on my computer?
I do. Before you guys get started, if you finish through the end, and I know you will because you're watching this video right now, so that already says a lot about you. When you get to the end, you will see a link. Hit that link, hit me up, and let's get you going.
Hey gang, follow me on my computer. Let's go.
Let's go over the agenda and to talk about what we're going to be going over today and why this is of any of importance to you. The first thing and the most important thing before we get into the actual business model and how this whole thing jives and how this whole thing can make you a ton of money really quickly, we need to go over some very important things. And that's the person that we're looking at every day, ourselves. Why are we here? And why are we doing this business model? So we're going to dive in a little bit to having a big why and a big vision for ourselves in this business. We're going to go over what is rental arbitrage and why this is of any importance to you. Is this even legal in your area, and how to find the legality of short-term rental spaces in your area, and to make sure that we're equipped to finding rentals that are legal in the area. Also, we're going to talk about how it actually works. What is this business? What does it do? How can you actually win from this business and how you can make money? And to conclude today, I have a huge ask at the end. And of course, it's to join the full Short-Term Rental Academy and to actually get going and having all the tools you need to equip you for success, to make sure that you don't make a lot of mistakes that a lot of people have made. And for you to have all the tools in your arsenal to make sure that you are successful in this business. Let's dive in to why this is of any importance to you. Why are you here? What is it exactly you're trying to achieve? Is it to get out that rat race? Is it to get out that job that you're driving to every day and you know that it might have a ceiling on what your success is, or that person that you have to look up to at your job is telling you how adequate you are at your job, and they control whether you get promoted, demoted, or let go at any time. Or it could be contrary. You want to supplement your existing income to what you're doing. Or finally, you want to replace your income as a whole, where you have the complete autonomy to do what you want to do whenever you want to do it with the people that you love, and that's your family. Maybe that's a big goal for you. Maybe that's your why, to spend more time with your family, see your kids grow up, spend more time with your spouse, to see how much of the world you can see together. Maybe that might be a good goal. Or it might be something of having this luxurious lifestyle where you want the fast cars, purses, clothes, colognes, and be in the best shape of your life and living in the most ridiculous houses around the world. Maybe that can be one of your goals. Or it could be bringing yourself closer to faith. Bringing yourself closer to the people and the organization that gives you that spirit to keep going every single day, and you want to be one of the greatest contributors for that. Maybe it might be something to bring you closer to not only having faith in yourself, but faith in others to be successful. Okay, so now that we have our why figured out, and we know why we're in this business, let's dive in and say, what is rental arbitrage and how does this whole thing jive for us? Pretty much what rental arbitrage is, it's been going on for years. One of the biggest arbitrators right now is Amazon. Amazon doesn't own 95% of the products that are on their site, but people rent their space to sell their products. And that's pretty much what we're going to do now. Is we're pretty much going after rent. We're going to go rent a property, then put it on vacation rental sites for us to earn cash flow every single month. And the best part about this business is that a lot of people have an extra space in their room, have an extra space in their house, have an extra space in their apartment right now that they can do Airbnb. All they have to do is check the HOA, check local laws, and they can quickly get an Airbnb unit right now, starting after this video. And it's pretty amazing what the things do for a lot of people who I've helped. One of my students did a vacation rental inside of her mom's house, and it pays for her entire mortgage. She has 3 extra rooms. All the kids are gone, and it's just her and her husband. She has 3 extra rooms in her house, and she does Airbnb for the entire home. And guess what? It pays for a mortgage, and it gets her additional cash flow every month. Maybe that can be your case. Pretty much we're going after small apartment buildings, okay, that are super, super great areas for the Airbnb business. Okay, we're going after areas that we've done research on. Speaking of that, in my full training, I give you the tool that you need to make sure that you don't lose any money with any deal that you need to do with this business. And we're going after small apartments, locally owned property managers, or small mom and pop property managers, property owners that are open to the idea for the short-term rental business. And our whole objective in this business is cash flow. Okay, the cash flow in this business is astronomical. Our average rental on a bad month is $1,100. On a great month is $2,700 cash flow. That's after all expenses paid. Everything is paid for. We're making $2,700 a month, and we have a ton of these rentals. And I'm so fortunate to share this with people and how crazy and beneficial this business is. And I am truly surprised why tons of people have not actually looked at this business model and tried to do it themselves. I'm blown away, but I'm fascinated by you taking action today and you showing interest with the short-term rental business. So pretty much, let me go over this real quick to make sure this whole thing jives for us. You're renting an apartment under a corporate lease. Okay. Once you rent that apartment under a corporate lease, you then put it on short-term rental sites. Once you put it on short-term rental sites, guests then book your actual listing for a short period of time, and then you get paid that cash flow after all expenses are paid. That's pretty much arbitrage on a nutshell. Let's dive into the next thing to see if this thing is actually legal in your area. So is this even legal? Is this legal in your area? Well, let me give you the tools real quickly to see what you can do to make sure that you're not breaking any rules in your area and the owner isn't knocking at your door at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, I heard you're doing Airbnb at my place, and they kick you out. You don't want that to happen. So I'm going to equip you to make sure that that doesn't happen. First things first is you want to make sure that you check local laws in your area. And hey, gang, if it's not legal in your area, do yourself a favor. Go to the next area. Okay, if you're here in San Diego, and we have small areas, since we have San Diego Central, then we have East County, then we have North County. We can go up a little bit. We can go 30 minutes away, and Airbnb is completely legal. A good example of that is Buena Park in Anaheim. Buena Park is a different city within a city. Buena Park is right next to what? Disneyland, Magic Mountain, next to Knott's Berry Farm, Soak City, USA, all these attractions. And guess what? It's a rock stone away, and you can get rentals there, and it's not illegal. Crazy. Maybe at the time of this recording, sometimes it might change. Who knows? The next thing you want to do is have that agreement with your HOA and with the property manager or owner that you're going to be speaking with, that you are under the right terms, that you are doing a short-term rental agreement. Okay, so what does that mean? You're going to sign under a corporate lease with the subject to put these on vacation rental sites, and that agreement is signed at the time of the lease agreement. You're not signing under personal. You can get started with this business with absolutely zero credit, like I did. I started with no credit. I had a 494 credit score. Okay, it's went up tremendously now because of this business, and I paid off a ton of debt. Maybe that could be another why for yourself. As I paid off a ton of debt, and my credit has went off the roof because of this business. People work backwards, and with this business, let's move forward. And that pretty much what we're doing is we're signing an agreement under our company. Okay, mine are under LLCs. I am not an attorney nor an accountant. If you're looking for legal advice or financial advice, please seek a financial advisor or a local attorney to get the appropriate advice. However, for me personally, I have LLCs to protect me from anything that might happen within that rental. And if anything that might happen, I have the insurance and the assurance for that owner or property manager that they're doing business with me. There are two things that property managers and owners want from you. The trust that you're going to take care of their place and leave it better than how you found it. That's a lot of people's problem. That when you have a regular tenant in the unit, there's natural wear and tear. With this business, your pitch can be, oh, Mr. Owner, the natural wear and tear that you're going to have from a regular tenant, you won't have that problem with me. I'll make sure that this place is kept up to date and make sure that it's better than the way I found it. And to give you even that additional assurance, I have the insurance to make sure that if anything happens, if the place burns down, we are both financially protected to make sure that your unit is back to the way it was when you found it. And that is the biggest thing that owners want for us here. In my training, I have the agreement that you need. I have the insurances that you need to make sure that you're going after the right people at the right time and to get that yes. And for each and every one of you to sign on that dotted line and for you to get a rental within your first 27 days. Not only that, I have another tool that is in the Short-Term Rental Academy that automatically checks the local laws for you. All you have to do is put in your zip code and it just tells you exactly where the areas are legal. If it's all green, that means it's time to get paid. All right, let's dive into the next thing here. And it's one of the most important things is to see, exactly how does this all work? Okay, what is the daily life of a short-term rental host? So how does this work? It's pretty simple, gang. Let's dive into it. If you have an extra room inside of your home, if you have an extra space inside of your apartment, if you have an extra space right now, I told you, my promise was to you was to get you cash flow in day one. Put that place on Airbnb, Booking.com, and Vrbo so you can start getting money right now. You might have to check with your HOA. You might have to check with your property manager to see if that's okay. But I'm pretty much almost guaranteed that they would not have a problem with it. Most of my students, that's how they start. Or you could be like me and picking up actual doors from apartments, property managers, and individual owners. And now I'm in a space where I'm talking to developers and other public companies where I can now get rentals at 10 to 20 rentals at a time. And now we're just blowing up with this thing. So pretty much it's simple. We are renting out a space to then put it on vacation rental sites. Okay. We're not owning the property at all. You're renting to rent. It's that simple. You're renting a place to rent. Okay, to lease it out to other people, to stay there for a short-term rental stay. Some are even 30 days. So how do you actually make money, and why is this worth your time? That's why most of us are here. And this is it. Say that we have a rental say we have a unit that is $2,200 a month after all expenses. That's utilities, everything, cable, gas, lights, water, etc. It's $2,200 a month to rent that space. We then put that space on vacation rental sites that then guests pay us every single month an accumulation of $3,400. And then we're left with that surplus of $950 every single month. Just imagine $950 coming inside your pocket every single month. After you hired the maid, you hired the cleaner, you hired a cleaner, you hired a maintenance man, you hired everything that you need to know in doing this business, and you're coming out with $950 every single month. Just imagine if you have 10 of those. Some people don't make that much money in their entire life. Trust me, I was that guy. Okay, so why should you even start investing in the short-term rental business? Why should you even do this business? I'm going to tell you right now that the life it has given my family and I has been second to none. Maybe in your life right now, you're looking to replace the income that you have currently in your job. Or you might want something to supplement the income that you have in your job. Or maybe you might want this particular lifestyle that you have in mind. And this can be a gateway to get there. Maybe it can bring you closer to faith where you can be the greatest contributor in your organization. Or maybe, just maybe, it can be to have complete autonomy of your life and to have that financial freedom to spend time with your family and your friends and the people you love when you want to, how you want to, and where you want to. All right, my final ask I have for you today is to consider jumping on the Short-Term Rental Academy, where I show you exactly the agreements you need, everything you need from A to Z to get started with your first rental within 27 days. And the number one thing, right now I have a couple bonuses for you. I have 7 bonuses locked in for you. How to get started with absolutely no money. You guessed it. How to get started with no money. How I started. Okay, you can get started in this business with no money. I train people one-on-one about $2,000 a month for the matter of 30 days for $2,000. You're going to get that for absolutely free. That's included in my training as well. How to make $2,700 per month on your first rental. You should be super excited right there. That's probably a full-time income for some people. And guess what? That's not even taxed. That's after all expenses. Number 3, a research tool so you never lose money on a rental. You'll never lose money on a rental with this research tool that I give you to make sure that when you're coming out the gate, you're coming out a winner and you're ready to rock and roll and you're making money on day one on your rental. How to get your first rental in 27 days or less. I charge people $297 for this. People ask me all the time, can you show me how to get my first rental? I have this money. Here's it is. And I charge people $297 for that. It's crazy. Gain an unfair advantage with your first listing. Okay, that's $97 for you. That's included. How to live rent free in your current rental. As I expressed, I have students right now who are living absolutely free in their place. Okay, there's people right now that are paying their entire mortgage right now with this program. How to get started without credit. That's $500. I train people without credit how to get started with this business. All that. Everyday price. If I did not know you, if you were not taking this training right now, or somebody did not refer you, you would pay $5,000 right now. You would pay $5,000 for this entire training. Okay, if you did not know nobody and all that great stuff, but because you took this mini training and because you take the time to get just that much more better in your life, the everyday price, of course, is $5,000. You're waiting for it. You know this was going to come because this was my final ask. Get rid of that. It's not $5,000, and I would not charge you $5,000. Okay, your savings today is $4,082, and all you have to pay today to invest in yourself in the full short-term rental academy, where I take you A through Z of how to get a rental. Day one after this training that you just took is only $997. That's right, gang, $997, and you have access to all my deals. You have access to become an investor on day one where you don't even have to look for rentals. That's an opportunity for you. You get all the bonuses included, how to get started with no money, how to make $2,700 in your first rental, how to live rent-free in your existing place right now, and how to get started with no credit. All it takes is that investment of $997 in yourself right now today of a one-time fee. And guess what? You're on your way to everything that you've wanted in your life, that complete autonomy that you wanted in your life, that financial freedom that you wanted in your life right now, gang, because that's what each and every one of us want. We want that complete autonomy of your life. And for $997 today, you have full access to my entire training where I show you how to get your rental right now after this training on day one within the matter of 27 days.